Guys,
and
I,
then
I didn't pay her also to say any of these things, right? Like, I get trolled mercilessly. I get
Zoya,
trolled
you couldn't
mercilessly.
afford her to pay any of that. Like,
Okay.
nobody is confused about that. Like, she Padma Lakshmi, but none of us on this
I know,
pod
I
can
just-
afford anything with her. Hello, namaste. Welcome to the Zarna Garg family podcast where all 5 Gargs are in the house. Today's episode is gonna get you heated. It's gonna get you angry. You're gonna have opinions. You're gonna disagree with everybody. You're disagreeing with somebody right now as we speak because the topic affects all of us, every last one of us. What are we doing? Are we eating out? Are we eating in? Are we getting food delivery? Are we buying expensive groceries? Are we buying things and throwing them out? Let's get into it with no delay. Let me introduce the family. My husband of 26 years, Wall Street veteran Shalab Garg, my daughter who just finished college, Zoya Garg, my son who is in college, Bridge Garg, and my middle schooler, Veer Garg. So, what is going on with food in our family? Let's go. Who wants to lead
I
this?
can't do this, Rana, because everybody's gonna get upset at me the minute I start to describe why I eat the way I eat. I feel like I'm like completely gonna get bamboozled by
You
everyone in this
are.
family.
Because you know why? Because you deserve it. That's why.
I don't deserve it. I eat
You're
once
not
a day.
supposed to eat the way you eat, Shalab. You're not supposed to eat. Tell
Some
people how you
restaurants
eat.
in New York are really good at main courses. Some of them are really good at desserts, and some of them are really good at snacks. So I only eat one major meal in a day. So I end up ordering my main course, my dessert, and my snack from three different places. And now Uber Eats has created this bundled process where, let's say, if you order from a restaurant, and it's not just Uber Eats, so I don't want to condone their services. It's everywhere, Grubhub, whatever you want to use. Where if you get food from a restaurant, that person will make stops for you along the way and pick up your side, your dessert, and everything, and come bring it to you as the same package. And you
But
don't
it's
even pay for
the
extra
scam.
delivery.
No, it costs extra. It adds up to extra. You end up paying that same margin that you would if you had paid for it on every single individual order. They
No,
just
not the delivery
designed
though.
it.
Not the delivery extra, right? It's the same person delivering.
why can't you just
Yeah,
keep?
that's the new Uber Eats feature. Actually, he is right where you can bundle orders and basically make it. This is no sponsorship, by the way, but you can bundle orders and make it so that if the path from the drivers to your house includes restaurants,
Includes a restaurant.
he'll just pick
So
it
let's
up.
say when I'm downtown, late lunch, I will get Chinese food from a place called Chili, which I've introduced you guys to, and you guys rejected it for reasons I don't understand. Again, no sponsorship for Chili. I don't care about them, which are somewhere in Union Square. Then the driver will make a stop at Mango Mango, which is my favorite dessert place, pick up like a mango smoothie thing alongside with it, and then bring it down to me. And, sometimes I like to have a little drinky with my meal. So he will pick up like a little, Patron Silver small size. And then I show him my ID for the Patron Silver and I have all three things delivered.
Why can't you just keep Patron or whatever or all these desserts ready at the house and just have
Because then I
rather
eat
than
too
ordering
much.
them?
This way I just have one meal together. Then when I'm done with it, the next day I make a different choice. And if I don't want to have
Shalab, you
Patron,
do this every single day. Do you realize how crazy you are? Do
I
you
don't
do you
sound
have any
crazy. I
Okay,
sound
guys,
like
I'm
a
gonna be.
really intelligent.
Hold on. We're sending too much shade at the wrong person. In my opinion, I feel like the shade needs to be thrown at mom for this topic. I think
Me?
that yes, hold on,
Wow. Get
There
after it,
comes my
dear.
son.
Get
Mom,
There
after
comes my
it.
son.
This back to school season, set your child up for success with Mathanasium, the math learning center trusted by over 1 million parents. Mathanasium makes math make sense through personalized instruction that builds skills and confidence. Start today with a free assessment at mathanasium.com.
you will waste money on the most random food just to take one bite and then throw it out. You will buy like. We have so much stuff in our fridge that you have just bought while we were like at a gas station just to use the bathroom. You'll buy
Excuse me.
8 things and keep it in the fridge for no reason.
Hold
And
on.
then it gets thrown
Was
out,
it
right?
Hold on. Was it
Yes.
Veer's birthday recently where he got picked up by his friends with his friends after a football game and there was Shake Shack burgers in the car waiting for the boys and who said thank you mom for thinking ahead. Do you need me to post? I will send the screenshots so their receipts are in the thing. No one. Literally I get trolled for planning ahead for all of you guys.
That's a
I'm not
cherry
even
pick situation.
I don't eat a lot because I'm on weight loss meds and everybody knows that. So I
And you look
cannot
good.
eat.
Great. Good for
So
you.
so what should I do? Like not order anything, just carry a carrot in my bag? What do you want me to do?
I'm just saying that sometimes the things you get just can be very unnecessary. I think
You
like
you think it's okay for your dad to order from 4 different places in one meal every day while he's sitting at home
okay,
and
but
eating? And
at least when he's
that's less egregious than me who's on the road every single weekend, like four
Asked
days
and
a week.
answered. Asked and answered,
Shut
counselor.
up. Stop it. Stop glazing him.
oh
Oh my god, who taught her glazing? And
What
Daddy,
is the
you
word? What does glazing mean? I don't understand.
it means
What
like
was
sucking
the?
up to.
wait, you know something on the topic of food as a classicist? I think it's really interesting that all the slang today has to do with food. Like you're so cooked, glazing, like donut
That's an
glaze. Like
astute observation.
yeah, no, all of the I think there are more than that too. Like you're so
But
chopped.
but can I just
That's
say
all
one thing?
food.
But can I just say
Okay.
one thing? A 50-year-old man, which is me, a 50-year-old woman, that's your mom, a 22-year-old grown woman now, which is my Zoya, 19-year-old boy, and a 13-year-old boy, both of them about to turn 20 and 14. We are in good shape, so we must be doing something right, right?
Yes, what we are doing right is the fundamentals I put into place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, you have to give
So
that to
why don't you
her.
talk about those fundamentals? What fundamentals did you put into place when we were
Did I or
younger?
did I not teach you guys to eat steamed broccoli no matter what every single day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Tell
true.
people,
She
including
did do
Veer,
that.
who eats it for breakfast every single day, because I insist that your system must have green vegetable and it does not need to be complicated. 2 minutes steamed broccoli wherever you are. You did I not teach you guys to love vegetables?
You
Bridge,
She
also
did do
force
that.
that upon all of our guests, which I think is really interesting. A lot of my childhood friends who like ate food at our house when they were 5 to like 12, they've told me that they still eat steamed broccoli to this day because Zarna auntie forced them to eat broccoli when they were
But
yes.
little.
to be fair,
Bec-
Zarna, Veer will leave for school in the morning, and there is food before he leaves. He'll often not eat any of it.
That's
So
not
you,
true. Not anymore.
yes,
It used to be
yes,
that way.
Veer,
Not anymore.
yes.
Not anymore. Well, I also don't have a heavy breakfast. I just have something light now. I just have like a little thing of oatmeal and
You cannot have
broccoli.
light, Veer, because your life is not set up for it. It's not like you can just eat lunch at 11 if you want, because
that's true.
you're guided by the school system and how their day works, right? Which is why we're trying to give you something before you leave the house, so you have some protein, you have some fiber, you're like full until you come home, and often you have after school stuff. But
Are we allowed
Bridge,
to
what
talk
are you?
about food at private schools in New York, by the way, or are we not allowed to talk about that?
No, we can talk about it, but there's not much. Like, we don't really care what they do because we're
But for
not
the
part of
first
that
10
world.
years, it was just horrible how hard it was for Zoya, and then for a long time for Bridge, Veer as well.
Well, it
Um,
wasn't so hard. It was just that they had a really large offering of unhealthy food options. Like they had like entire, shelves of different types of candy and things. So you guys had to teach me self-control at a really young age. Bridge, are you even here?
Bro, what are you talking about?
You haven't spoken once, and we're
I
talking
have
about
literally
food.
spoken multiple times. I'm not
Okay,
sure what
so
you want
what
me
are
to
your
say.
thoughts on food?
and you're the
I,
most in shape Garg, so you should have a
I don't
thought on
even
food.
know what your thoughts on food even means. Like I enjoy food, just the rest of you guys. I'm at college, so all my food is provided for me at a dining hall. So it's pretty simple for me. I wake up, I go to the dining hall, I go to class, I go to a different dining hall, I go to class again, I go back to a different dining hall, and then I conclude my day.
Can you explain
For
Okay,
me,
your
food
rules?
is like a
Your
very
rules
simple topic.
for not eating as much, for being conservative on how much sugar you eat. I think it's interesting the point system you have.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. So this is a
Bridge, can you
10
believe
point
this?
system.
Your little brother knows what you teach him and reminds you of it. That is
So
unbelievable.
he doesn't follow it though, so it doesn't even matter. But
that's not true.
No, I
it
don't. I
is
definitely
it
don't.
is
It's true.
definitely true. But I instituted this 10 point system that I try to enforce at least when I'm back in the city with the family. And that's that if you eat a certain amount of sugar, the more sugar you eat, or I should say calories really, because I'm more focused on that, the more calories you consume, the more close you get to 10 points. And once you hit 10 points in a day, you can no longer have any more like desserts or high calorie foods. For example, if you eat like a bowl of ice cream, that'll be worth 10 points. So you have no more dessert for that day.
But let's say a bagel doesn't have sugar, right?
Yeah. So there's a certain
Bagel has a
level.
lot of sugar. What are you talking about? Bagel is all sugar.
Depends on the
But
type
if
of
it's
bagel. And
Yeah.
also, bagels are high calorie, and so is cream cheese. But if it's for essential, just to give yourself energy or protein throughout the day, then it's one thing. But if it's literally just for empty calories slash sugar, like you're not getting any added benefit. You're not gonna become more full because of it. You're not giving yourself protein or hydration. Then it doesn't make sense.
One thing I think is interesting is that you taught Veer this 10-point system about sugar when Veer was like 9 years old, right? A lot of people tend to think about food rules as something you teach people when they're older adults and to give kids like a scot free childhood. So, my question to you, Bridge, is why did you feel so comfortable putting these bounds on Veer and teaching him about sugar at such a young age?
I feel like most older brothers teach their younger brothers a lot of things when they're young because you go through a lot, so you're always aware of what mistakes or successes you had when you were a child, and you can kind of pass it along or be a little bit more harsh with it when it comes to your younger brother because you want them ultimately to have the best parts of your childhood in addition to not having the worst parts of your childhood. So I knew from a young age that Veer not being obsessed with dessert would help him a lot more in the long run. So it was pretty easy. And it's not like I was just like, Veer, you're not allowed to have dessert. He still is allowed to have dessert. It's just like to a limit. So it's knowing what your limits are. Because even any bad habit in moderation isn't necessarily that bad most of the time. It's just the idea of moderating it instead of like overexpending on it.
When did any of us had a sugary drink last?
I was just gonna ask about sugary drinks.
I mean,
What do
and
we
wine
think
and
of?
wine is not included. Please don't
I've
include wine.
all
Why is
alcohol is
wine
included.
not
Why is
included?
alcohol not
Wine is the
included?
most
Okay,
sugar.
then of course I had it just yesterday.
I've actually switched to zero sugar and diet drinks. I think that's a switch people should make.
Is it?
Really?
I don't know what, but you're the most conscious. Isn't that a lot of chemicals?
I'm sure it is a lot of chemicals, but like, I mean, that's a whole rabbit hole. The whole chemical, like, if you look into chemicals and stuff, I think that you just really won't be able to eat anything that's not like complete organic. Like,
Yeah, I mean that is a question. Do you drink the regular drink with all the sugar in it, or are you better off drinking something with diet sugar, stevia, or one of the new alternative
artificial.
sugars? I
Mhm.
feel like all the nutritionists seem to say drink the one with the fake sugar. That do
Side
not drink.
note,
Yeah.
I've noticed that the smartest people I've ever met in my life are obsessed with Diet Coke. Like this is a trope that goes beyond like a lot of politicians, like the president of the United States is like a big Diet Coke
Bill
drinker.
Gates.
Bill Gates, like all these really even just people that I've met, they have like entire fridges stocked with Diet Coke. Even mom, you love a Diet Coke. I'm just curious, is there something about that drink? Like,
I
is there
love
something
Diet
in
Coke.
it?
Also, but I make masala diet coke. I usually I usually twist a lime in it. I'll usually add like a little touch of salt and pepper in it. If I have chaat masala, I'll mix it in it. I make it like Indian style. But you know what it is? Diet Coke feels like a luxury, but it's not a luxury. It's not expensive, and it like kind of gives you that little sugary kick without the real
Well, not only
adrenaline.
that,
Do you
something
think
wait, hold on. Something that people do not know about Diet Coke is that Diet Coke does actually have about 40 to 50 milligrams of caffeine. So when you
Exactly.
drink it, you get like
That's the real
it's not
reason.
a huge like you'll start shaking from so much caffeine like from a bunch of shots of espresso or whatever, but you do get a little you do get a little hit of caffeine that'll just get you an extra hour of like good energy, which I think is substantial
but why
enough
not
to
just have coffee for that, black coffee
because
instead?
Because
then
there's
it's
a
too
lot of
much.
reasons.
Tell me
Because
why.
not just it's too much, but you will then end up having coffee daily. And especially for a lot of these high performers, when they're in high stress, high adrenaline environments, they don't necessarily need a whole coffee to get through their day because that might make them too hyperactive throughout their adrenaline rush day. But when you have something like Diet Coke, which is like a small boost, like when you, for example, if you have a long day, you didn't get much sleep, it gives you a small boost for the next like 2 hours to be able to work productively without having to like sacrifice your night ahead because your timing of a lot of these people like Bill Gates, Trump, or whatever, it's not as simple as like they go to sleep at 10 p.m., wake up at 6 a.m. every single day. So when it's like your time is fluctuating so much, having coffee at different points of the day might screw up your sleep schedule or your mental health so much that you can't perform high functioning throughout the next day. But Diet Coke is small enough so that that doesn't affect you during your sleep, but also high enough so it gives you like a small boost. Same thing with high calorie like meals, for example. A lot of high performers like Bill Gates and Trump, we're sticking with them because obviously like president, CEO, billionaire, whatever, but this really pertains to a lot of them, have extremely unhealthy diets. They'll drink Diet Coke, they'll eat like McDonald's or Burger King or something that's like extreme crap, and we all know it's crap, but it has a lot of energy packed into a small meal.
Wait,
Hold
one
on,
thing
hold on,
I
hold on.
learned.
Hold
No,
on,
no.
hold on. No, you will hold on, because you talked about something that actually people have addressed before. The idea that fast food is necessarily unhealthy.
Bro,
So
you actually stole my point.
basically,
No, because actually you stole my point, and I
because
don't know why.
because I probably told you. What happens is that the big fast food chains have to have extremely structured processes. So you know exactly what goes into their food, how much sodium, how much fat, because that's all listed. The idea that a local small mom and pop restaurant is healthier is not necessarily true. There is no the amount of regulation that the large chains have to go through is nothing near. I suspect in New York, at least half, if not most restaurants are freezing and defreezing food constantly. They're packing up the sodium, they're packing up the sugar, they're using old ingredients because there's no regulation of any of that. But because it's packaged like a little mom and pop thing or like under the celebrity name of some fancy celebrity, we all assume that it's healthier. And I'm not sure that that's necessarily true, which is not to say eat fries at McDonald's. But McDonald's does come with like nutritional value added to it. Burger King does tell you how much of what is in each thing, so you can make decisions based. And that's also true of frozen foods. I've had debates with people about whether you should eat frozen foods or not. A lot of people who control their calories like eating frozen foods because they know exactly how many calories they're getting.
I love Trader Joe's frozen food section. It is so excellent. Like their frozen gyoza and Indian food is so so good. But one thing I wanted to add on that point is fast food chain restaurants have really picked up on this trend. Obviously that people are trying to eat healthier and that they have less time. One company in specific that comes to mind is Chipotle. Their marketing campaign effort in showing how athletes will use all of the different, like will make bowls and make, things that are really healthy and high protein on the go is so good. Like when I think of Chipotle, I think of them as the premier healthy fast food
Really?
leading
Wow.
chain. I do.
Yeah.
That's
Are
like
they
the
Well, it
because
is.
really?
I
It
because
is.
I don't think of Sweetgreen in that same category, which everybody knows I'm a big Sweetgreener girl. Like, but there isn't Sweetgreen everywhere yet in the same way that there's Chipotle. Chipotle has done an excellent job at like positioning itself to take that wedge in the market. The other company that I think has done a pretty good job is Starbucks. Starbucks, with their like high protein egg wraps and things of that nature, has also really dug into this issue of like on the go healthy meals. Like I know Veer really likes their bagels. So I think it's interesting that fast food chains are kind of making this shift and they know this wave is coming and they're trying to get ahead of it. So I wonder what you guys think of that
Wow, I
too.
didn't realize that Chipotle would be in that category. I always used to think of them as McDonald's, effectively, just a Mexican McDonald's.
No, it's definitely better
No.
than McDonald's. It's not like the greatest thing ever, but it's better than McDonald's.
And on
Well,
the topic of food, also Chipotle was famous because somebody did this bit about how a mom ordered a Chipotle to go order, like one of those big party orders, and then used it for her family for like 2 3 days, and it was so cost effective because she got all the meat, she got all the vegetables, and she was making tacos and quesadillas. And cost is a factor, guys. Even though your dad eats like he's some kind of Arab sheikh, he's like,
I
cost
mean,
is
I
a
don't.
factor.
Like, I just take advantage of my, celebrity wife and take advantage, and I have to look good because she's on the media. And if I'm going to be next to her, I can't look like, and I have this big podcast, Finance Dad, which is like taking off, and I just need to look good.
Oh, okay. So you on Finance Dad, are you advising people to spend like $200 a meal
No, no.
every
I
day?
mean, what I preach is not what I teach.
wait, I want to talk about one other thing, and that's like the intersection between social media and food. So, Veer, can you please tell us about why you're so obsessed with Raising Cane's? And I also want to talk about that donut brand. What was that donut brand that had like the drops every month?
Crumble cookies.
Crumble cookies. Sorry, crumble cookies. I think it's so interesting how certain brands of food will just position themselves to take off like an animal, right? Like when I went to Raising Cane's with Veer, almost every other customer was around your age, Veer. Would you say
Zoe,
that's
what does
true?
that mean? Raising
It's
canes?
like it's a fried chicken restaurant brand, but it's taken off on social media as this kind of like hub or vibe essentially. And when I went with him and I saw all these kids gathered together, I couldn't believe it. Like, what is it about these places, Veer, that you're seeing?
I don't even really understand either. It's just it feels easy because you're getting the same thing every time. I think consistency might be a part of it. It's literally just chicken, bread, and sauce and fries. That's it. It's just a complete. I I I don't have the answer to be honest. It's just I like the food, so we just go there with my friends. I don't know. There's not
Bridge,
really
a
anything
weird
about it.
question for you. You always go to pick it up, and the few times you ordered it in, you were not happy with the delivery of it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Do you know yesterday or day before there was a very viral tweet where somebody ordered a Chipotle burrito
Hmm.
via one of the delivery services, but then they also went to the same Chipotle location and ordered it in the Chipotle location,
Hmm.
and they got double the burrito in house than
Yeah.
they got delivered. And they posted photos of it side by side. Have we seen a discrepancy? Can you guys speak to this?
Yeah.
Without a
Well,
doubt.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I
But
think just
What are you trying to say? Quality or quantity?
Both.
quantity or yeah, both.
Because quantity, I've actually had like the opposite experience. Whenever I've ordered Chipotle, they generally give me way more when I order it than when I go in stores. At least when I was in high school, that was the case. Quality, I agree. Like the food just tastes worse. It's not as fresh when it's delivered, especially from fast food chains. But quantity, for me at least, has not been. And I would also say that experiment, like only one thing of going in person and having it ordered, is not valid unless they do it like 10 more times with like multiple different stores to prove that it's a valid experiment.
Yeah,
Bridge.
I'm not saying it's dispositive, but Veer has had that experience with Raising Canes. I know Zoya's had that experience with Sweet Green. So
Sweet
there is
greens.
definitely something to the idea that if it comes through the order, the people packing that order just don't seem to care as much as if the guy who's buying it is in
Well,
front of them.
yeah, because
Well, they're held
you're not being
accountable.
held accountable. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I've seen the prices are different too. I feel like they're the same burrito when I go and buy it in the store versus when I buy it in Uber Eats, and Uber Eats is more expensive.
Well,
In
What do
yeah,
you
Uber Eats adds fees.
no,
Chipotle doesn't
per,
want to.
but per item, not like at the end they will
Yeah.
Yeah.
add other things on it. I'm not talking about that part. I'm just talking about the simple line item price. A burrito that's, I don't know, $15 in the store will be like 16.50 on Uber Eats, and then on top of it they will add all kinds of different fees at the end. I feel like the meal
Well,
is more expensive, much more expensive.
let's talk about technology and food because I think that's really interesting. There are now restaurants where there is no restaurant. There's just the person delivering the food. Like it's a small stand and they're preparing the food with the entire purpose of like um essentially delivering food because that's how people now eat. Most people eat through delivery. I'm wondering, mom and dad, like because you guys are from a very different generation where people would actually
Whoa,
go and
whoa,
eat
whoa. Did you just
go
go
and
there?
eat. I did. I took a shot. I was just trying to be silly, but I you guys would go and eat in like a cafe or a restaurant. Like how have you seen the way that our generation now eats? Do you see like a change in the culture from when you guys were our age?
I mean, the main thing I notice is how much more careful people are what they put in their mouths compared to 20 years ago. And I just love it. I just love the fact that, maybe the rich were always that way and their generations of rich. But now I feel like even the regular people, everyday people, are just very, very careful what they put in their mouths. They will at least take a minute to see what the label says the item that they're about to consume has in it. They may still choose to consume it, but they're very aware, very careful. And it's just really fantastic. I just love that part that people are so careful about what they put in their
I
mouths.
mean, we 20, 30 years ago, we just believed whatever.
What's told to
Whatever the
us.
food,
Yeah.
whatever. You will not believe this because in 2025 it's unbelievable. But when I was in college, one meal that a lot of people in the Midwest brought to eat in college was white Wonder Bread with a thick layer of butter on it and powdered sugar sprinkled on it. And that was a
Oh,
sandwich. And that was a sandwich that people brought from home. And because they brought it from home, they thought it was a healthy thing that they are eating. When
right.
I think back to that those days, like what were we completely bought the Kool-Aid and our whole generation is suffering
I
for
mean,
it.
on my trading floor in the morning, which started early at 7 a.m., my first job, my breakfast in the morning would be a full fledged Coke with a bagel, butter, and jam on it together. I would have that every day in the morning at 8 a.m. in the morning. It was just
Wild.
sick. And now when I look at that same Coke, and I would, out of my curiosity, I would buy a Coke from an Italian store downtown, which is a Mexican imported Coke. So if you buy a Coke that is in a bottle, those small bottles, and it says made in Mexico, and you bring it in and then buy the same size Coke, full, I'm not talking about Diet Coke, just a regular Coke bought in a regular grocery store of New York, and put them side by side, and then put a coin in each of them, right? And let that coin sit over a course of 3 days. The Mexican Coke would not rust the coin, whereas the American made and manufactured in Atlanta Coke will rust the coin
Wow.
Wow.
because one has high fructose corn syrup and the one from Mexico is real sugar.
But
I mean, we can't even talk about the amount of mistakes we've made with our health. It's
Mm,
incalculable,
mm,
and you see it in the amount of diseases we lucked out. I mean, I count our blessings
mm,
that we don't have any major illness because
mm.
the way we ate 30 years ago, the things that they even, I mean, you will not believe, but the cereal that none of you have ever eaten in your life used to be a healthy breakfast.
Mm.
There
wild.
was like
These
breakfast of
lobbies,
champions. They would literally hire the biggest sports stars to like promote. Shalab, what was the breakfast of champions? Was the Special K or like
yeah,
the
yeah, it was
Kellogg's?
horrible. And
But
those athletes would not eat it. They were just
Oh yeah, of
advertising
course.
it.
I
But
want to
the
ask a
corruption in the food industry, in the medical industry, that then supports the two are together, right? Because of food that makes you sick, then the medical industry tries to medicate it as opposed to try to just naturally have the body heal it, is just so deep that is insane.
I feel like the hyper personalization of how we eat now, like what you were describing, Dad, where you'll order your own food and Bridge will order his own food and Veer will go out to this place by himself. I think it's made us more lonely, right? Like we don't share meals in the same way anymore. People don't just kind of like get over themselves and eat. Everybody has like their own diet, their own version of what they want to enjoy and like they're not willing to compromise for other people. I think that that has really shifted like the social dynamics of our culture now, right?
I feel like men have always been lonely. My granddad, my dad, me, now my sons. So it's like a natural male condition. The loneliness, it's got nothing to do with food. And women have always been social, and the food has not changed it. Do you boys agree?
Like, I don't know. I think that people are so becoming so codependent on each other, at least at college, that I think a little loneliness is a good thing because everyone I see literally cannot, especially people in college, especially freshman, sophomore year, people just can't go to the dining halls by themselves. Like, they need to bring a friend or they need to bring their friend group. They can't, like, really do anything by themselves. And I think it's good to be able to be productive by yourself, to be able to study by yourself, go to class by yourself, eat your food by yourself. Not saying that you should do that all the time and every single day should just be you and only you, but there also should be moments of where you're productive without needing somebody else to be there to provide some sort of stimuli. And I think that's a major issue. And I think that stems a lot from social media because nowadays people are just so concerned with it. But
But
and
Bridge,
that
does
really
everybody
produces
at your
dopamine.
university like the dining hall as much as you do? You always speak so positively of it. Is that just you or everyone?
I would say most people like the dining hall really well. I mean, of course, outside food is just the easiest option because you can always just pick and choose exactly what you're feeling with high quality food every single day. But people are very content with the dining halls. I know I am. I actually can't think of anybody I know who hates the dining halls. I just think when you're given the option, because once you become a sophomore or junior or senior, you're then given the option to be going to the dining halls or just purchasing your food outside in college town. And most people just go with the college town option not because they hate the dining halls, but more because they are
Flexibility.
just
They want the
it's just
flexibility.
flexible.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
still go to the dining hall. You just have to
Yeah,
pay for it, right?
Well, Bruce,
exactly.
two questions for you actually. First, I think it's really interesting because you've never been a foodie in that way. You're the least foodie of our family,
Mm,
for
that's
sure.
true. Mm.
And I want to know why that is. And then my second question to you is, do you notice in college people constantly scheduling all their meals? One thing I noticed when I was in undergrad was like every single meal on the calendar needed to be scheduled with a person, because it was like if I'm not socializing in my social hours, I'm doing something wrong in school. And that was something that was very overwhelming to me, because I actually enjoy eating meals alone. That's like not when I want to socialize. I prefer socializing when walking or getting a coffee and not eating a full meal. So those, what do you think of those? What do you think of that?
Yeah, so your first question is why am I not such a big foodie? I just don't think that I care about food or enjoy extravagant foods. I'm a very picky eater. I like very basic foods. I like chicken tenders, I like pasta, I like broccoli, I like chicken, and then I like steak. Like that's pretty much my entire diet every single day.
Edamame.
And edamame, of course, and also a lot of fruit. But the point is, I just don't like extravagant foods. So for that reason, I've never been one to seek out like much more nicer, good food, I guess, compared to what other people love. Or like when I travel, go to different countries, for example, I'm not going to be the one indulging in the culture when it comes to food. I like sticking to the food that I like. And then when it comes to college and freshman year, definitely people were scheduling every single meal. They wanted to have food with somebody they knew, which freshman year, honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's good to be able to socialize and force yourself to socialize even when you don't want to, specifically because the connections you make in college are so important, and becoming friends with as many people as possible is so powerful freshman year. But sophomore year, there's been a little bit of a shift. I think people are much more prone to just getting food by themselves. Not all the time, there's still some people who just can't, but I think it's a lot more independent than at least it was freshman year.
Can we just agree that cooking is dead?
Yeah.
Can we
Well,
all
Yeah.
actually,
agree?
to be fair, when we've bought those burgers from Lubel's and cooked them together, those have been fun. And Zoya cooks the cake that she cooks, banana cake, banana bread, which is
Yeah, but
really
I'm
awesome.
talking about cooking as a everyday, like we're gonna eat at home in our kitchen. Like I don't live that life. Does anybody live that life?
No,
I think cooking
I don't
is
think cooking is fully dead. I think we're a specific like of one family that is has a special like case. I don't think cooking is entirely dead.
Plus, meal prepping is on the up and
wait,
rise. People
I
are
was
meal prepping a lot.
What is meal
I was
prepping? Sorry, Zoya. What is meal prepping?
Let's take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsors for today. This podcast episode is brought to you by my favorite online clothing company, Quince. Quince has every luxurious looking layer that you and I wear every day, including this long cardigan, shawl, jacket that I love, sweater, not a jacket, sorry, that I love. I bought it in every color. Quince has all these luxury everyday items for so much less than you would ever imagine. Mongolian cashmere sweaters for $50, and they look good, they feel good, they're sourced from ethical companies. You're gonna feel great. Check Quince out. Take my word for it and check them out, because you're gonna find something for yourself, for everybody who needs a gift. Step into this holiday season with layers that are made to feel good, look polished, and last from Quince. Perfect for gifting or for keeping for yourself. Go to quince.com/Zarna for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's quince.com/Zarna to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Zarna. You're not going to regret it.
Meal prepping is the idea that you prepare food for the week. So let's say today's Sunday, I would prepare food all the way up until the next Sunday, whether it be all three meals or just dinner. For example, I can like buy a bunch of bread, buy a bunch of pepperoni or whatever, make a bunch of sandwiches so that every single day this week I have a sandwich already prepared and ready for me to eat that day.
But
That's
is
becoming
that
very big.
practical? But is that like who wants to eat the same pepperoni sandwich a whole week in a row?
That's very
That's the
I,
practical.
problem. Like one of the issues that food has in America is that it is sold in massive quantities, right? So you can't just buy like two slices of bread. You have to buy a whole loaf. And then you got to justify eating the whole loaf
Hmm.
within 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. And I don't know anybody who eats like
Hold
that
on,
anymore.
mom.
Like
One
I think people who meal prep probably waste a lot of it is my guess,
Hmm.
unless
I
I'm the
agree with you.
least disciplined on it.
Mm.
One
I mean,
thing,
you are very disciplined, but I think you're right on this topic.
Mom, one thing that I think I've always found trouble with you about is two things. First being that you have issues with us eating the same thing every day. I don't understand why. Like if I want to eat oatmeal every day in the morning for a month, I do not see the issue with that.
No, I don't have an issue with that. But realistically, are you going to eat the same lunch and dinner every day? Breakfast? A lot of people have autopilot mode on breakfast. They're like, we like one of these two, three things. And I actually encourage it for you because for your school, then it makes it easier. And I know for a fact you had a healthy breakfast. But is it practical to be like, I'm going to have the same lunch every day and the same dinner every day? Can you
I
live
think
with
it's important that Veer also you eat eggs. Like not having eggs in your arsenal is a big mistake because a lot of the times, especially when you go to college or vacation or different places, eggs are always the exact same no matter where you go. Like they're relatively the same taste and they're just as easy to eat wherever you are.
Mm.
But oatmeal will be like fluctuating. Some places have no oatmeal, some places have terrible oatmeal, and even though oatmeal's fine, it's just not as consistent as eggs and you need to have eggs in your arsenal.
Well, one thing I'll say on that note, because our family is very concerned Veer doesn't eat eggs. This is a big source of issue in our
He's
family
the
because
only one that does. Actually,
he's the
Zarna
only
doesn't eat them
one.
either.
But mom has actually forced herself
I
to eat
learned to
them.
Forced
eat
herself.
eggs
You
at
Yeah.
learn to eat them.
45 in my life. I forced myself to eat eggs.
But I
You're
was
right.
just gonna
I
say,
see.
Mom, I was gonna say that you like it actually some of this stuff does happen in your early adult life, right? Like I don't think it all has to happen when you're little. For example, I used to hate yogurt. Like the consistency of yogurt when I was little. Oh my god. I remember consuming it and just like feeling like I had a slug in my mouth because it was just slimy. I just couldn't do it. And then when I was a sophomore in college, I started eating Greek yogurt, which was like a big moment in my adult food development because it was such an easy thing to constantly have. Like it's always in the airports, it's always at Starbucks. Like you can always get a Greek yogurt and it's healthy and it's good. And I only learned to eat that as a 21-year-old person. So I don't think it all has to happen when you're super little,
Hmm.
Veer.
But Veer, you were about to attack your mother on two things. That was just one.
Yeah.
What was the
So
second
the
thing
second
for the
thing was
attack?
that I don't understand your issue with us not liking food. For example, generally me and Baya out of the family are the two that don't like traditional Indian food. Some traditional. Neither of us. Do you
That's
like
just
dal and
not
rice?
true.
Do you like
That's
dal
just
and
not
rice?
true. I like dal and rice, and I eat rajma and
Okay, so
puri
he's
and
just
chole
lying.
and
He's
puri.
lying on the podcast.
I'm
But
not. Ask mom.
He's
Ask
not
mom.
lying.
Veer
Bridge
eats
dies
it.
over
Yeah,
Rajma
Bridge
puri.
does
Yeah.
eat it, Veer. That's not
And
true.
okay,
we
some
make,
some
I mean,
traditional Indian foods.
the
Whatever.
I
thing
eat
is that
pretty much all
It's
traditional Indian
everything.
food.
Veer,
Yeah, I don't know
that's
what you're
Cap.
talking about.
He eats everything.
Okay.
our Indian foods have some built-in protections that are well acknowledged in the whole world. Like the use of ginger and garlic, the use of turmeric, the extensive when we make rajma and chole and dal at home, the amount of onion, tomato, and like vegetables that we put in it, it is an actual healthy meal. And there is a lot of you cannot have a life where you're just eating Raising Canes every day. You just cannot have that life.
Okay.
But mom,
No, no,
also
no.
to
Hold on. I'm not done. I'm not done standing shots. Okay. What's also in Indian food is complete lies. Dal contains no protein. It's like what 4 grams. Dal does not have. Yeah, you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy. It is a myth that dal has a lot of protein. Dal does not have that much protein.
We're so excited to have in the house the icon, the legend, Padma Lakshmi herself, top chef, all American cookbook coming soon. Padma, thank you for joining our family because we fight about food constantly. Constantly. Do you fight in your house about food with your daughter, Padma, or is it just us and our kids?
No, no, I fight with her about food. I mean, when she was little, before she started going to school, she would eat everything and whatever I told her and enjoy it. It was never a struggle. Then she went to school and she was influenced by all these terrible proclivities of toddlers at school. And all of a sudden she came home saying she wanted to have chicken nuggets and only things that were round and all kinds of craziness like that. And then unfortunately now her school allows her to go outside for lunch, which is good because their public school food is terrible. But she's eating a lot of bad junk food, and I'll make a whole hot meal here at home and she'll order Taco Bell to her room on Postmates. And it is infuriating because I just want her to eat healthy, delicious, home cooked food. You don't know who's touching that food. You don't know what kind of meat that is, etc.
And you are literally saying this to my kids, and we had the same discussion just a few minutes ago. We were like, my son, for example, is addicted to Raising Canes. Do you know what that is? Raising
Yeah.
Canes.
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, Krishna likes canes too.
Right, it's that brand has got the young kids in a lock. It's like they all want to hang out there, they want to order in there. Is there any fast food chain, or is there any like takeout that you're like, this is one of the better ones?
I don't mind Sweet Greens because you can build
Yes,
it.
sweet girl. I did not pay
But
her to
like,
say that. I did not pay her to say that.
Although I
but
do
what?
expect money retroactively. I think Sweet Greens is pretty good, depending on what you choose to put in that bowl. If you're in the West Coast, I like El Pollo Loco because it's just char grilled chicken. Same principle. Um,
What about Chipotle?
Chipotle is not bad, but I like Chipotle for an early lunch if you have to, because you don't know how long that food has been sitting there. And a lot of times that chicken is dry in those, chafing dishes. But Chipotle is not bad. I mean, I'd rather Chipotle than anything like McDonald's or,
Yeah.
that kind of
What about
stuff.
between Chipotle and Shake Shack?
But the worst is two hands. Two hands is the worst. My daughter gets these corn dogs, which are just like fried cornmeal over sticks of cheese
Oh my
or
God.
meat. And luckily, she only gets the cheese. God knows what's in that meat, but it's really bad.
Padma,
But
I
Okay,
have
wait.
a
I
question.
have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you want to go first?
No, you go. You go.
Okay, my question is on the topic of fast food.
Hmm.
We as young kids, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook. I can only DoorDash. I only Uber Eats. I eat Sweetgreen almost every day and the same breakfast. I feel like if somebody gave me a pan and butter, I would have no idea what to do with it. Like, I would just burn the house, the kitchen would be ruined. Like, do you think that cooking is dead? Like, how do I get better at cooking? That is a question that I'm really curious about.
Do you like to eat?
Love.
Okay, then you can cook. Everybody can cook, to quote that famous mouse. I really believe that. I think you just start with your hunger, start with a dish you love, and then work backwards. I mean, your mom, hello, just spend more time in the kitchen with her. I once talked to Mother Jaffrey, who's a friend of mine, and she said she never taught Sakina how to cook. She just made her do stuff in the kitchen. The problem is people like your mom and me are not are too we're too lenient with our children. We spoil them and we do everything for them because we want it to be perfect.
Yes,
But perfect
tell
is the
it,
enemy
Padma, tell.
of good. So, I think what you have to do is you have to start chopping the vegetables, washing the potatoes, peeling them, doing everything but turning on the stove first. And then it's really easy. Like, didn't you cook in college, Soya?
Not one day. No, I'm being honest. Listen. I have your cookbook and it's amazing, and I love cookbooks because to me they're aspirational and they teach you about food. I think that the education of cookbooks like yours is so valuable, but actually
Thank
applying what I've learned is very
you.
challenging for me.
I think you can't do it when you're starving. I think you have to make it like a Saturday activity with a friend you want to hang out with anyway. And if you pick any recipe, like take a very simple recipe. There's a beautiful recipe for tadka dal in Padma's All American. And I'm sure you're very familiar with dal, based on your DNA. And so all you have to do, follow that recipe. Read the recipe twice. That's what I say in the introduction. Make sure you gather all the ingredients you need, chop them up beforehand, and lay them out on the counter in the order that they go in the pot. That way, you cut half the stress of cooking and you're organized, which is a big part of cooking. And I guarantee you, I would be surprised. I'm going to call you and stalk you. You have 10 days to make dal for your family. And
Wait,
I'm sure you're gonna make it.
if you make it a test, I will get an A plus, right? Like that is
We'll
my
see.
that
I'm
is
making
my
it.
duty. That is my responsibility.
Zoya, if you make dal in the next 10 days and at least, you have 4 family members there, at least 2 of your family members say it's decent, I'll give you $50.
Done.
Oh, there you
Done.
go.
Done. Wait, but Veer, do you want to
You've
ask?
recorded me here. I will give you $50 if you make dal and at least, according to that recipe, and at least 2 of your family members say, okay, this was good to eat.
But
Done.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be excellent.
can I just pause because Padma said something very interesting that I want everybody to take note of. I've never thought about it that way. The time to open up a cookbook and actually cook is not when you're starving. It's a turn
Mm.
it into an activity that you're doing when you're just, what should I do today? And like experiment, because that is a mistake a lot of us make. We're like, I'm starving, what can I make? And then you pull out 3 ingredients and now you're like, oh, forget this, I'm gonna order it. Because at that point your brain is like already, it's not locked into doing anything new, to even doing any work. You just want to get to the food. That's a challenge that I think we can all take. We can all pick a day when we're like, you know what, today, what can we make? Like her cookbook has so many great ideas. Pick one thing that looks like manageable to you and pick it on a
Yeah.
day when you're not, an easier or an evening activity. Sometimes when all of us are
Yeah.
home, there's nothing, you don't have to be sitting on a couch watching Netflix endlessly. You can have like a little bit of a cooking moment and keep it ready for the next day.
And
Okay,
it's
well,
fun. It's really fun. Like, what I will say is, when I was in college, I had no money. I was a financial aid student, I was a work study student. And so we couldn't afford to go out. But I had this New York Times International Cookbook from Craig Claiborne. I still have it. And we used to all pick a country and we used to pool our money and buy groceries for that country's dishes, and we would cook. And that would be our Friday and Saturday activity. See, the problem I think is that we all are too privileged and have too much money. We have the choice of calling, ordering from Uber Eats or Postmates. There was no Uber Eats. There was no Postmates. Grocery stores weren't even open, until all hours of the night. And I think some of that hardship wasn't even hardship compared to most of the world, but compared to what we have now, actually helped me. It helped me learn how to cook. It helped me be who I am. What's your question, Bridge?
yeah,
I know
bridge.
it's fun. Yeah.
So I one thing about food that I find so powerful is the socialization you can have around it. Especially growing up in the public school system and going to college now, most of my socialization actually occurs like throughout a meal. Whereas like we'll go get a meal together, maybe we'll go to the dining hall. Actually, for me personally, speaking on like the fast food middle school thing, I pretty much had pizza every single school day for 6 years straight. Like that was like my diet every single lunch, but I don't remember the food as much, but as much as the good times I had while eating the food with my friends. So my question to you would be, how do you kind of manage all of these, like trying to eat healthier, trying to make better food, cook with yourself, but also have that constant socialization that every child wants growing up?
I think the way you do it is you become organized again. Like what I do sometimes in the weekends, I mean, now our nanny is here, so she helps with chopping all our vegetables. Although Krishna's too old for a nanny, she's kind of my nanny. But in the weekends, I used to chop. I know I'm gonna need onion, garlic, ginger. I know I'm gonna need, tomatoes and carrots. I know whatever. And so I have those things organized. And sometimes I'll even just do a big baking tray of roasted vegetables, just very easy, just with olive oil, salt, and pepper in the oven. Just everything, cauliflower, whatever vegetables you like, carrots, everything. And then I will eat off of that for the day, because it's good to lock in. Once you cut the vegetables, it's good to use them soon. But making cooking easier for you is the key to socialization. It's the key to eating healthy. It's the key to all of it. And when I'm planning a meal, I'll plan like one thing that's fun and exciting and another thing. I make sure 50%, I know your mom's a vegetarian, but 50% of my plate is just fruit and vegetables, or fruit and vegetables and lentils and beans. That way I know I can still splurge. I can, I'm not saying to be a monk and only eat healthy food. I'm just saying eat healthy 5 days of the week and enjoy some treats on the weekend.
Well,
Padma,
And
do,
then
let's.
do
do
you,
it
do
Well,
you,
I
right.
have a
I have a
I have
question.
wait.
a
I
I
have a
think we all
question.
have
no
the
no
same question. We all have the same question because we had a humongous argument about this exact point
Okay.
right before you joined. Veer or Dad go?
yeah
I
wait
was actually don't have that
let me
question. My
let me ask.
question was, what do
Wait,
you
let
think
Veer
of
go,
in
Dad.
okay,
Let
all
Veer
right.
go.
Okay, what I was gonna ask is that one relating to the socialization surrounding food. If
Mhm.
I were to go to Canes with my friends, a completely unhealthy, it's complete crap. If I were to go to Canes with my friends and all of them were getting the fried chicken and stuff, and I were to bring a salad from home, I would look completely like the odd one out. So what I want to ask is, do you think that finding people who have similar interests and desires in goals is necessary to maintain positive relationships surrounding food?
It's important to be with people who have the same priorities that you do. They don't have to, like, they can still have fried chicken. You'll probably get kicked out of Cane's if you bring a salad from home, but like maybe you can go to Cane's one time and then they can come with you to another place another time. Like, I don't know, I what your parents' policy is about bringing friends at home, but like maybe ask your parents or whatever, like set out one day a week. And by the way, like, you guys, if you want to socialize with food, there's no better way than the preparation of it. And then it becomes, again, it's another version of, doing it at home and having it be the activity and having it be fun. So, just be like, give each other a challenge, be like, okay, let's do a potluck where I make this and you make that. And then,
Mm,
challenge yourself. So there's, maybe you do have dessert or whatever, but you do it in a way that's balanced. Again, it's not about trying to wedge healthiness or healthy food into your life. It's about arranging your life in a way that promotes and makes it easier for you to be healthy while still socializing.
mm,
Instead, like, go to the farmer's market. And by the way, the farmer's market is not cheap. It's expensive, because those vegetables are really beautiful and they're handpicked and they come to you fresh. But, go to the farmer's market and buy pears or apples and then learn how to make an apple pie.
Guys,
wait, and
I
then
I didn't pay her also to say any of these things, right? Like, I get trolled mercilessly. I get
Zoya,
trolled
you couldn't
mercilessly.
afford her to pay any of that. Like,
Okay.
nobody is confused about that. Like, she Padma Lakshmi, but none of us on this
I know,
pod
I'm
can afford
just
anything with her.
My question was about intermittent fasting. Do you support it?
Yeah, I mean, God bless you, because I tried to do the Atkins diet for one day for 4 hours and I was a stark raving like, so it's what your body, is willing to go through or accept. I can't intermittent fast to save my life. Like, I can if until sundown, and then I do all of my major eating at night. Like, I'll be very healthy until 10 p.m., but I can't eat too early, like intermittent fasting sometimes requires, because if I eat at 7, I don't go to sleep until midnight. By 11 p.m., I'm hungry. So what do I do then? Because it keeps me up. But for people who can do it, it's very powerful. The what works for me, and I eat for a living. So when I'm not working and eating for work, what I do is I eliminate. So I say I'm not going to eat any red meat. I'm not going to eat any fried foods. I'm not going to eat any sweets. Depending on, I keep a close watch on my weight and I give myself grace while I'm working to just do the job well. But then once I finish working, I get back on track, and then I just make sure I'm within a 5 pound range, of my ideal body weight, which is fine. As I'm growing older, that number has raised and become higher, which is okay. Like, nobody wants to see a bony old lady anyway, but like, you have to do what's right for you. Like, I wish I could intermittent fast, but I can't. It just, my brain
wait.
doesn't function if it doesn't have calories.
My last question, and then Mom, I'll let you ask because I know you're excited. But you mentioned you eat mostly fruits and vegetables 50%. Now, the men in this Zoom, they are only eating chicken steak. Seriously. And that was something we talked about earlier, where Veer thinks that actually dal and rice is not that healthy. It doesn't have that much protein. And obviously,
It
everybody's
does.
obsessed with the protein thing. That's my question for you. So, my question is, why is it so important to be eating vegetarian style diets? Is it more important to be eating vegetables than it is protein?
I think both of those things are important. I think you want to eat a variety of things. Eating dal 5 days a week is not good either, which is what I tend to do sometimes when I'm busy. But I think eating a balanced diet with lots of different varieties of foods is good. But being mostly plant based, we have found, is really healthy, not only for yourself, but for the planet and for your pocketbook. Like, you can eat steak. I'm not saying don't eat steak, but eat it, sparingly, because it's really hard for your body to break it down. I mean, there are NBA athletes who are vegans. So, there must be a way to, sustain your health goals and physical goals while being vegetarian. I'm not into prescribing one diet for everybody. I'm not even into prescribing one diet for me all of the time. So, want to say hi to Zarna? Um, okay. Yes, just say hi and go. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
How are
Hey.
you?
We were just hearing about what you're eating during your off break at school.
Oh, no way. Got you.
Go do your homework. Go.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah, close all the doors gently. So I'm not even into using just one diet for myself at various times in my life. Your body needs different things at different times. Protein is important. So is fiber, but the source of your protein is also important. So you can get protein from lots of different sources. Beans, soy, lentils, chicken is great, fish is wonderful. Like, I don't like making fish at home because the house smells, and I grew up a vegetarian, so I'm still a little squeamish about certain meats and things like that. Like, you'll never catch me ordering a steak, but I do love a good hamburger once in a while. I do love slow roasted braised meats, but I think everything in moderation. But eating mostly plants and not a lot, is probably good. And I'm really, it's hard for me to have portion control. So if I can't have a lot of portion control, I want to be sure that what I'm reaching for is at least healthy. Once Krishna goes off to college in 2.5 years, I'm going to get rid of half that crap in the pantry that has like all these chemicals and stuff. Like, if I want a sweet, I mean, I can eat a bar of chocolate a day, and I often do at night, but it's dark chocolate. It doesn't have any sugar. It's that Hue brand, HU. They have
Wait,
a minty chocolate mint.
I like. Wait,
I think we're kindred spirits, so yeah.
no, I get flamed. You don't understand. This family attacks me for my food. I was just attacked for a full hour about all of that.
But that huge
I
chocolate
mean,
is
it's
like
what's
$10
working
a
for you.
bar. Am I not mistaken? It's like $9 or $10 for
Well,
one
it's
bar
a
of
treat.
chocolate.
Should
It's
we
a
ask
treat.
Padma Auntie what her stance is on bags versus berries? So, Mom and I have had a very famous debate on Instagram live stream that went viral. It's also in the Your Money podcast. It's just a crazy debate. Would you rather spend your money buying one carton of berries every single day or buying one designer bag in a year? What is more valuable to you?
For me, it's berries, because my skin and being healthy is more important than the bag I'm carrying. But I don't eat a box of berries every day. I probably eat, if you take like a normal bag, a box of blueberries or whatever, that probably takes me 2 or 3 days. But berries are good because they have a low glycemic index. They have a lot of antioxidants, and unlike other fruits which are loaded with sugar, like grapes or bananas, although bananas have potassium, they are a good option as far as the fruit. So if you want protein, get skyr, SKYR, which is Icelandic yogurt, which has much
Oh,
higher
I love
protein
that. I love
content.
that too.
Put some berries on it and call it a day. And instead of using artificial sugars, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup only has 60 calories and has a lower glycemic index than other sugars or other sources of sugar. And that is very delicious. You won't need more than, if you're having like 2 cups of yogurt, which I can easily down in the morning, and having like half a cup of berries on that, you can just throw, a little tablespoon of maple syrup and some cinnamon.
Padma,
That's
can
the
I
breakfast that
just do
is.
a hot take before you have to go?
Yeah,
You're a parent,
sure.
I'm a parent, we're both Indian. When other kids come over to our house, we are
Hmm.
wired to feed everybody. That's just how we live, right? Like,
Yeah.
I have to feed everybody who steps foot in my house, even if they come for 5 minutes. I swear, some days I'm like, it's a delivery guy. Like, I don't have to feed him. It's okay. Yeah. But what I've learned is that when our kids go to other people's homes in America, that is not necessarily the case. That is not like they are not invited in the same way that we invite people's kids. It's a hot take because I know we've had many disagreements about it. Sometimes it even makes me upset if my kids are at somebody's house for hours and they don't get offered a meal or a proper snack, like not one of those cheap things but like a real snack, because I'm obsessive about other people's kids too. Like if they come to my house, I want them to eat a vegetable, I want them to eat like a piece of protein. Have you ever had
Yeah.
this experience when Krishna goes to people's homes and she comes back and you're like, what did you eat? And she's like, well, we didn't actually eat anything.
Oh, well, I'd rather she not eat at some of the homes she goes to. But I also didn't let Krishna sleep over anybody's house
Oh,
until
never.
Oh my god.
very
Never.
recently. I'm an immigrant.
Stop.
Like, I mean, if my attitude is if she wants to sleep away from home, she should get into college, far away. Like I don't. But recently, I have let her go to sleepaway camp because I realized she's actually safer in the Catskills than she is, in the city of New York. Just going to camp and running the streets at Joffrey. But she will come home and she'll be starving, and so I know she hasn't had anything to eat when she goes to their house. But that's okay with me because I don't think others are feeding their own kids like I would feed my own kids. So it's more about that. I don't really, that doesn't bother me as much. What bothers me is when when her friends don't take their shoes off in my house, or if they just leave things. Like, you just see how different parents are raising their kids. Like, I've had kids who don't even, will not even say please or thank you, or now that doesn't happen so much because I think Krishna primes them. She gives them like a whole, like, okay, so, because she says I'm very intimidating, which I think I'm the least intimidating person in the world, but she says that her friends find me intimidating. I said, well, they should say hi, say hello, look me in the eye. Um, and it's not that hard, but they're forming as adults, which I try to keep reminding myself. And everyone's speed of evolution is probably different.
I get it, and I appreciate you so much for stopping by. We are so excited about your book that's coming out, the All American Cookbook. I can't wait to
It's called
make
Padma's
dal.
All American.
Padma's
Padma's
All
All
American.
American.
I can't wait to do the dal thing with my family. Like, oh, I think when we meet this coming weekend, we're gonna have an afternoon where we're gonna break out the tarka dal recipe, because a good dal tarka is an evergreen. Once you learn how to make it, you make it for life.
I'm gonna
So
get an
it's a
A plus. I am going to
we're
get an
gonna
A
we are gonna
plus.
make it. And you guys are gonna rate who got an A plus for chopping skills, for everything, all of it. And we're so
I want a full
excited.
report.
You are gonna get it because we love doing report cards. That is our family. That is our family's USP. We do report cards for everything. But thank you so much for stopping by. Everybody who's listening, please go buy Padma's All American, a cookbook. You don't want to miss it. In addition to the fact that it has amazing recipes and life ideas, it's beautiful to look at. It's actually a
Thank you.
stunningly beautiful book.
Gorgeous.
And people, go right now, run, don't stop, buy it as a gift for your friends and family this
Yeah,
holiday
Christmas
season.
is coming.
Because
It's
as Zoya
wonderful
said,
because it
there
has
is
something
something
for everyone.
aspirational about having that book. Once you have it, you might be inspired to do something with it. And she's made it so easy. I cannot thank you enough, Padma, for stopping by, for shedding light on food issues in America as we are raising our kids and the next generation. We're ordering in, we're taking out, we're buying, we're throwing, we're doing all of it. And this was such a
A
treat.
lot a lot of the recipes that you would be ordering out, like Thai food or Chinese food or Peruvian food, they're all in this book. So, a lot of us eat these different immigrant foods at a restaurant, but we never make them at home. But they're so easy. Like, there's a dish called pad Thai fish, And it's so easy. It's just a tamarind sauce that is usually used on pad thai, but I use it to steam fish. Once you make that sauce, you can keep it in your fridge for a month. You can have a high protein meal in literally less than 9 minutes. All you have to do is make rice. And so there's something in it for everyone. There's pakori, there's everything. I mean, you don't probably need a recipe for that, but there's lots of stuff. And there's also essays about different immigrants across this country, because immigrants are what make this country exist and evolve. So it's coming out at a time that is very difficult in this country, but I think it's a positive, joyous way to find out about what our neighbors are eating at their homes.
Wow, I
Yes.
love that so much. I think just to close this segment, I would love to know, what is one thing you wish we all knew about food that we don't know, or that people don't appreciate enough?
I wish everybody knew that if you want to eat healthy, there is a way to do it without too much expense or effort. You just have to be shown, or you have to do your investigations. Like, sometimes it's just a matter of not asking, just putting those cut raw vegetables on the table before you put anything else on the table. Because if you put everything else on the table at once, you're going to reach for the thing that's the fried thing or whatever. Put it out in stages, it works. Like I used to do that with Krishna. I used to just cut vegetables in a yogurt dip, like a raita, a spicy raita that she would eat, and then I would give her the rest of the meal. So I wasn't stressed. I knew the vegetables had already gone down, so it was done. And it's the same thing as an adult. They did a study actually out of Japan, where they had two control groups who had the same bio stats, and they had the same exercise thing, everything, and they also got the same food. Okay, got the same food and the same amount of food, except one group got the bento box with everything in it, and they could eat whatever they wanted at any, in any order. Another group got the vegetables first, the protein second, and the starch third, and that group lost and sustained weight more. So
Wow.
how you eat is also as important as what you, and I know it's hard. It's hard for me because rice goes under everything in my house, like if there's always rice. So but rice also, if you refrigerate it and you eat leftover rice, now we know that it also is healthier for you. So rice is not as bad as people thought. Obviously, if you eat a kilo of it a day, then you have a problem. But um, good luck with the dal. Good
Thank
luck with
you.
trying the recipes. And I want a full report, and I'm probably gonna owe you $50. Oh yeah.
I'm so excited for this. And also, Shalab, did you hear? You're not supposed to eat a kilo of rice a day. Go tell your mom as soon as we're
I
done.
don't eat kilo of rice a day.
No, who she taught you that? All the bad habits in our family came from you know where. I will not name the person, but your mom. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Padma Lakshmi. Thank you. Padma's All American, a cookbook. Everybody run. Do not delay. Buy the book. Tag us in it. Tag us when you buy the book. Put it on your social media.
Please.
Tag Padma Lakshmi, tag Zarna, tag the Zarna Garg Family Podcast. We may repost you. Tag a beautiful photo of what you made. What's your favorite recipe? We will give you the light that you deserve for the work that you do if you support our friend and support good eating habits all over America. This is much needed, and thank you for tackling it. Everybody say bye.
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 We're going to take a second to tell you about our podcast sponsors for today, Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website design platform that can do it all for you. Whether you're a starting entrepreneur, just starting your business, or been scaling for years, Squarespace can create a design for you and your website that takes all your appointments, that helps you with invoicing, that beautifully showcases your products and designs, everything you need all in one space. Do not hold back on your dreams. It's easy, it's within reach, and head to squarespace.com/Zarna for a free trial right now. And when you're ready to launch, and don't wait for this, use offer code Zarna to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/Zarna for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code Zarna to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Check them out. Let's take a quick break to tell you about our sponsors for today, Mathanasium. Math skills are important for everything in life, no matter what you do. Even if you decide to be an artist, guess what? You're gonna need math skills. So do not wait. Go get your kids enrolled in mathanasium.com. It's the funnest way to learn math. A million parents trust their kids with Mathanasium. You know why? Because you can go in and have your kid work at their own pace. You don't have to wait to see where the class is, what the teacher is in the mood to do. None of that. They're going to focus on your kid, personalized instruction, and take them along the journey and help them fall in love with math. Do not wait until the first report card comes out. Get right into it. Mathanasium.com. Get your kid assessed immediately and put them on the fast track to being experts in math or to being not afraid of math. And listeners today can get a free assessment at Mathanasium to start the school year off strong. Go to mathanasium.com and find a center near you to redeem your free assessment. That's mathanasium.com.
Also, I think just not liking some Indian foods is not a huge issue. You're acting like me not liking that means I'm never going to be able to eat things in my whole life. There's a bunch
Yes,
of other
it is
things that
an
I do
issue
like.
because you are an Indian kid and you have to eat some Indian food.
How did he become an Indian kid?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's born and raised here. I mean, he's
No,
like,
you cannot be living on a diet of chicken and chicken and chicken and steak. That is just not going to be okay. And whether
mean,
the
I mean,
dal
his
has
50-year-old
protein.
pretty
dad
okay.
is living on that diet.
No, shut up.
Chicken
Yeah,
and chicken and steak.
this is
I
why.
mean, we don't
This
live
is
in
why he's
India.
become the way he's become because you encourage this.
Yes, I do encourage it. I want him to eat what he wants to eat. And I think chicken and
No,
steak
he
is good
has
source
to
of
eat
protein.
few Indian homemade meals a day. Like, what is wrong with saying that?
I mean, okay, so Indian meals, actually, I accept that point that people in India end up eating very healthy, more for the most part, not counting the sweets, because the produce that they get is directly from the farms. There is no intermediary person like a food processing company that's taking the wheat and the rice and the oranges and the fruits and processing it with all coats of sugar before it reaches the individuals. So they do, because they're not to that point yet. Food processing companies have not taken over the farming in India, which is great for them. But that's not the case here. The Indian food that he eats here, for the most part, will be processed the same way as the because the lentils and the stuff that goes into it to make it is essentially American produce. It's not. It's being made with Indian spices. That's the only difference.
I mean, we're not going to argue with the produce. We have to use the produce we get, right? But when we make dal at home, there is a lot of fresh things that goes into it. There's like a little touch of
But
ghee.
he's not wrong.
There is,
There's no protein in it, Zarna. It makes you
but
hungry
but
within
like
half an hour.
life is not just protein calculation. What is going
Life,
on? Like you have
I
to
mean,
eat food.
Okay, but then
believe it or
also
not, life is all protein calculation.
based off the fact that I have not liked it for the last 13 years of my life, what gives you the hope that this time I will like it? I don't understand.
You have to
Wait.
make yourself like it. There's just no like.
Why?
Then
Why
this
does he
is
have to
why
make himself
you
like
know
it?
because the same way he has to learn how to eat eggs. Bridge is right. He
Eggs,
needs
okay,
to eat
eggs is way different. We're in America.
Why is it different?
Eggs is completely prominent in America. There are lots of eggs everywhere. I can agree with that. I take the knee on that one. But dal, we are not in Mumbai. Dal is not something that's commonly made in every place that I'll be at. That's a completely like.
Yeah, go ahead, Zoya.
Thank you. I was just gonna say he probably will miss it a lot when he goes to college. Most kids, when they go to school and they leave the house, they miss their parents and their families' home cooked meals and they really appreciate it for what it is. I think Bridge, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bridge, I don't want to speak out of turn. I know you love Indian food, but tell me if I'm wrong here. You appreciate Indian food so much more now that you have so much less access to it. And when you come home, it's the thing you are really excited to enjoy. Is that true?
100%. There,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
same for me. When I'm at home, I really want to eat my mom's cooked dal, but that's not happening as often because she's in India, and when she comes here, she's not as welcome in our apartment because of my wife. But overall, yes, my mom's cooking I do enjoy in
Okay,
dal.
I'm glad you got all those shots in, Shalab. I'm glad that
I will
went out.
say, speaking to Veer's point, I don't think you can consider any sort of experience of eating food a meal unless that meal has protein in it. And if it doesn't have protein in it, then it is either a snack or it is a dessert. A snack can be powerful if you need quick energy, quick carbs, but it's not a meal. And if or it could just be a dessert that you're eating for simply for fun. Let's say I have a test or I'm going for a run in a couple of hours. It's powerful in that moment to have a snack because I need that quick energy that doesn't weigh me down, that doesn't make me need to use the bathroom or anything, but it gives me enough energy to be able to be productive during that test or run. But let's say I want to have a breakfast and I want it to be able to set up my day, it should be a meal. So it carries me on throughout the entirety of the day. It gives me the protein to help my body recuperate and multiple different things. But I cannot count dal and rice as a full meal. Like, I just cannot count that as a meal.
You
It's
you
just a
heard that? It
snack in
is
my
not.
opinion.
Yeah, it is a snack. He's
I'm
equating it
I'm
with
gonna
dessert.
take a hot take here. I think this extreme proteinization of meals is a fad that is going to blow up in people's faces. I'm calling it right now, right here in 2025.
I'm
Wow.
Like,
willing to bet you. I'm willing
we
to.
went from not ever knowing what protein was. 10 years ago, nobody said the word protein. Nobody. It was not a factor. Now, water has protein in it. Milk has double the protein in it. Everything is like protein. There's cupcakes with protein in it. What are we doing? Like, this is
Mom,
insanity.
10 plus years ago, 50 years ago, the life expectancy was lower. The people going to the gym was less. The amount of people being muscular was less. So obviously when protein gets introduced, we see those trends increase.
He's right, Zarna. He's absolutely right.
Mom,
Now,
Shut
I'm
up.
willing.
Can you just stop agreeing with everything the kids are saying? Like, literally, you've come today to the podcast just to win the kids over. So, hey, he's right. He's right. My mother, I miss my mother. He's right. My
I do
wife
miss
is
my
Sunni.
mother. She makes the best arhar ki dal. That's the arhar ki dal I ate
Ugh.
Wait,
10
Dad,
times out
I'm
of
so
30 growing up.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I have no problems with Dadi, but her dal is literally like taking diabetes and literally injecting yourself with it.
I mean,
Because
she
it's
makes it in ghee and she
swimming
makes
in
it.
no, it's a bucket of ghee. It's properly a bucket of ghee. Can you
Okay,
agree with that?
I agree with that. That it is not the most healthy thing that she makes, but it does taste very good. And I might as well have that if I have to have something unhealthy than the unhealthy stuff that is being thrown at me because of your mother living in New York and ordering all this stuff that Veer earlier in the past podcast alluded to as wasteful with
What?
respect to his mother's buying.
What are you talking? You know, we next time, I swear to God, I am not ordering any food for your friends. And when we pick you up at the end of something, you go sit there, just look at a bottle of water. Not even that. You know what? Because you guys will be like, she keeps too many bottles of water ready. I cannot believe I'm getting attacked for being prepared for my own kids and my family. It's not even that I eat this
Whoever,
food.
whoever, literally not a single person on this podcast attacked you for being prepared when it comes to food or bringing food for Vera's friends. And speaking about that, Mom, recently you have actually just been making up situations in your head. Like, you actually have just been creating your own narratives and acting like the reality. And it genuinely is becoming a problem. Because I didn't think it was a problem until recently, but it is actually becoming a serious problem. And where you'll take one issue you have and turn it and then start making things up. Veer never complained once about you
Do
bringing
you
food
do
for
you
his
think
friends.
do you think
Ever.
Bridge and Veer, do you think your mom's professional success has gone over her head to make her in that way?
No, she's always been like that. I just now
Yeah.
started to notice that she is like, she literally will make up situations. Like, she'll literally make up situations and then respond negatively or like she was the victim in those situations. She does it all the time, and it's
I mean,
getting
I'm with
insane.
you. I completely think
I
the
don't
same.
I'm
know
way.
what
actually
you
falling apart. I'm
What are
falling
you
apart.
guys talking? I don't even know what you're talking about. Bridge, the discussion you and I had yesterday was rooted in facts. I
It
have
was not.
receipts. I'm going to print and I'm going to share receipts with our podcast people that when I put in a group chat, this is happening, this is not happening, nobody acknowledges it. Then when I call you guys and I tell you guys that you have to acknowledge it, you act like I'm overreacting and I'm
Honestly, I
overstepping.
felt micromanaged too. Bridge, I felt so micromanaged. You should see the WhatsApp chats.
Oh my
Not
god, it
one,
was
but
so
a
funny.
repeat one after the other. 10 minutes before, 20, as if we are little children who will not follow through.
But if you just say, I got it, I will be there at this time, we will not have to repeat it. We
Hold on.
constantly have to
You are
repeat
see
things.
again. You are being very biased with how you're presenting this entire discussion. Because another thing that you also said when we had our fight last night was that I expect you guys to be on your hands and knees thanking me every time I join the podcast on Sundays. You said that in text.
You
I have
said
it in
that,
text.
Mom!
I never
I-
said that.
I-
never
Wait,
told
I'm
me
gonna
to
read
say
it
that.
right now.
I
I'm
have
gonna
never-
read what I said to you right now.
I'm pulling it up too. I have never ever once, literally ever.
Okay,
that-
please read it. I want to see it.
I'm
I
gonna
wanna see
say,
it.
Dad,
I'm gonna
stop
say
being
right
such
now.
an instigator. This is crazy. I mean, this is completely insane.
I've
I also-
lived through this for more than half my
But
adult
Dad,
life.
like, this is your wife. Like, can you protect her? Like, you just have thrown
No,
her to
I'm
the
not
wolves.
protecting her. I'm gonna
Yeah,
absolutely
no,
throw it to
these
the
are
wolves.
these are the
She
exact
said,
words.
I
No.
understand. You're Ivy League big time now. Go live your life. I have never once said I'm big time because I'm Ivy League. Ever. She also fired me during this discussion and said I'm no longer part of the podcast.
No, I said, let me read exactly what I said. I said,
Yeah,
you act,
actual
you
sentence.
act
This
like,
is
no,
his.
I'm going to read
You
it. I'm going
you
to show, don't show
you.
your chat when I'm showing my chat.
I'm
I was saying,
showing you
not
right now.
you, he should fall over in gratitude that you show up to shoot. Because
Yeah,
you and my mom, I always show up. But how do I know that you're going to show up if
I
you didn't type in the
wait.
podcast that
Read
you
the
are going to
quote slower so people understand. You act like we should fall over in gratitude that you should show up to shoot. Have I ever acted like that?
But if
Ever?
you
Have
don't
I
put in the
ever?
podcast chat that
Have
mom,
I
I will
ever?
be there, how
Have
do
I?
I know? We should wait until the last minute, every minute, to see if you will show up or not. Like, yes,
But you remember in the last
shut up.
podcast,
Why
he
don't you ask
explained.
your son if his head has swollen up since he went to Ivy League instead of worrying
I
about
have
my career?
never. What are you
It
talking
is
about?
really, really important for a man to not reprimand his 19 and onwards son in
You
front of other
hold on.
people.
Stop
You
it right now. You
wait,
know
wait,
what?
wait,
Who's
wait, wait,
fired
wait,
of
wait.
this podcast? Your
Another
dad
thing you
is fired
said.
of this podcast. This
So
is the official announcement that he's no longer going to be. All he does is sit there and try to be a good cop to his kids and then remind his mother, oh, I love your cooking. Like, literally, I've had it with everybody ganging up on me constantly.
Okay, wait. Yesterday we had a different podcast shoot that we were supposed to have with another important person, and it got canceled. It got canceled, and I was totally fine. I never said, "Oh my god, you guys wasted my time." I never said anything. She insists and texts me, "You act like it's our fault that things shift." I had literally made no comment about it getting canceled. Not one thing. I didn't say a single thing. One thing, but she acted like it was my fault that she was acting like I was blaming them for this happening when I never did that once. She was
All
just
I
making
said
up
was,
situations in her
Bridge,
head.
when I said our podcast has shifted, can you acknowledge that the
That is
podcast has
not all
shifted
you said.
and you
That
got
is
our
not all
message?
you
That's
said.
it. Can you put in the podcast chat,
Bridge,
Mom, I read it so I can sleep
I'm
in
very
peace.
sympathetic, and I'm
I,
really
whatever,
sorry.
shut up, be you
I'm really
sympathetic.
sorry, Bridge.
Okay, I can't. Okay, this has been our discussion on food and topics around food. Should you order in? Should you eat out? Do you cook? We would love to hear your opinions, especially on how Shalab turns on me, and should we even keep him in the pod? If you want to vote to get Shalab off the pod, feel free to comment below right now. And as we end every episode with a round of good grades with Gargs, so too we are going to end this episode with a round of good grades with Gargs, where each Garg gives another Garg an A grade for a winning moment of the episode, for the enlightening moment, the entertaining moment. So who wants to go
I
first?
will go first. I'm going to split my A grade between my two sons who showed the courage today to stand up on their overwhelmingly tough mom. And I just cannot believe the strength and the courage the two of them showed. I think they're ready to take on the world as a result of that, strength that they exhibited in this podcast. I love you, sons. Well done.
Wow.
Okay,
That
well.
was
I
that was a shot indirectly at me as well, which is cool and great to know.
I
No,
I
because you
am
suck up to your mom. It's only my sons that stand up to her.
I didn't
I
say anything. I couldn't get a single word in that discussion.
I'm gonna actually give my A grade to mom because she brought up an earlier point that fast food restaurants and just other restaurants generally, a lot of them are doing very shady things that make their food very bad to eat, whether it be chemicals, sugar, calories, or whatever. So it's easy to prejudge a lot of fast food chains, but there's a lot of restaurants you should also take a step back and look at.
Bridge, thank you for that A grade, but we're gonna put a pin on our discussion and come back to it offline, you and me, okay? Okay, who wants to go next?
I'm going to give my A grade to Bridge for not being afraid to institute a very rigorous sugar system, point system, the 10-point system tool that he gave Veer. A lot of people are very afraid to put boundaries on their kids on what they eat when they're young because they want them to be happy. And it takes a lot of courage to put those boundaries up for your little brother.
I will give my A grade to Dad for his ridiculous eating system of ordering from 3 different places. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I just think it needs to be emphasized how ridiculous it is.
I mean, what's the point of saying all this now after like empowering him and agreeing, making him literally like, oh yeah, dad, 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 and like coming down on me, knowing that he's literally sitting there and laughing because you and your brother are disagreeing with me. I am giving my A grade to myself today. because
my
I
God.
have killed myself for 20 something years to make sure you guys like to eat vegetables. Make sure you eat. If there was a penny for every time you guys were weeping out on the streets as if I beat you up because I made you eat one broccoli head.
Mom, you saw how when you gave your A grade to yourself, nobody was surprised.
Wait, that also never happened. Again, another made up situation that she literally just built into existence. We have all literally loved to eat broccoli since the
I
dawn
am
of
going
time.
to find baby videos of you guys laying on the floor on the streets of Manhattan and saying, I want this donut. You don't remember
But
today.
how does that have anything to do with the broccoli? See,
No,
this is the
you
issue.
don't
This is
eat
the
because
issue.
I
No, no,
was
no.
like, you will go
You
home, you will
make
eat
these
the broccoli,
ridiculous claims,
and
and
then
then you
you will eat
completely
the donut.
when somebody
No,
challenges
so
your
I
absurd
will
claims,
end
you
your
change
challenge.
exactly what you
No,
said completely.
but anyway,
What you said was that we were always in denial about eating broccoli, which is not true. And then when I challenged you, you were like, no, it was about donuts. But that's not what you originally said. That's not what you said at
I'm
all.
I'm
That
like
is
right
how a
now.
grown, intelligent son sounds like.
Okay, shut up, whatever.
I am also grown and intelligent. Just
Okay,
for the record.
thank you. Okay, people, everybody tune in and tell us who you agree with. Feel free to put in the comments who you agree with. Do you want Shalab to continue on this podcast? Do you bring your family, friends, loved ones, like, share, and subscribe this episode, because we are not the only family to have heated discussions on food. And please, please, until we meet again, everybody say bye. Can't wait to see you
Bye.
again.
Can't wait to see
Bye.
you.
Wait, I'm just gonna add one other thing. On this day, it's Sunday, October 26th when we're filming this. We just crossed the top 200 top Spotify chart. Our podcast has broken the top 200 overall of all podcasts. We are beating NPR's Money podcast, and it means so much to us that you leave us comments on the episode, that you're subscribing on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. And if you continue to do so, we're going to get to be able to do all sorts of things with our podcast. We're not trying to be annoying, but if you could please subscribe, like, share this episode with people who have fights with food, it would mean the world to us. Cool. Let's move on.
Thank you so much. Until we meet again. Bye.